In the era where niggas will run to statistical data to make their base judgment off better players, in a world where quote unquote numbers never lie, in a basketball world where it's, oh, look at the stats. You want to know who's better? Look at the stats. In that world, dare I say I'm bringing you a contrasting viewpoint. Dare I say I'm keeping the eye test alive. But why, Damien? Why are you keeping this? Why are you doing this eye testing? What is with you with this eye test? We can just look at the numbers. Let me tell you niggas something. This game I love to watch and play is an art form. It's an art, just like music, just like dance, just like anybody creating. These niggas are creating, manifesting their expression through the game of basketball. And stats cannot quantify the art. A stat could tell you a bucket was got, but a stat can't tell you how a bucket was got. You gotta watch. You gotta use your eyes. So this eye test shit will not die because it's niggas like me who appreciate the art and not just the productivity aspect. Though, I'm not gonna bring up an artist that don't produce, baby. They gonna have numbers to back it. Let's not get it twisted. I just value the art over the metrics. So with that being said, you got Dirk Nowitzki, you got Tim Duncan, two of the best power forwards of my era, probably the best power forwards of all time in many niggas' minds. But it's all perspective. So let's get into it. First category, shooter. For obvious reasons, Dirk Nowitzki. I couldn't name 5 shooters better than Dirk. So me giving Duncan that leverage and shooting would be redundant and asinine. Mid-range game, fire. One of the best mid-range game players. And this is the thing about metrics. All of the greats got a midi. Name a great. We talking Duncan and Dirk. Middies. Bron, Kobe, Wade, Melo, T-Mac, Jordan. Middies. Hakeem, midi. All the greats have a midi. So you talking about the game with solely metrics, you got to think again. This is where the art kicks in. You can't name a great without a mid-range, except Shaq. But back to these two. Mid-range on flight for Dirk. Mid-range great for Duncan. Where the difference really lies is beyond the art. And midi too. This nigga, he hits bottom of the net. He barely touch rim when he shoot. High arc 30-foot shots. 30 foot in the air type shit. But midi as well as deep ball is clearly Dirk. Duncan didn't take threes, more of an inside player. Post game, with that being said, I got Duncan. More multifaceted in the post, was stronger down low, and just more of an overall force. Whereas Dirk's post game, if he couldn't just forcefully take advantage over a nigga like Ginobili right there and shoot over him, was just the step back and shooting over people, period. He didn't have much of a repertoire, whereas Duncan is a triple threat down low in the post with the bank shot and has both a shoulder game and is intuitive on the pass, as you see right there. Duncan was much more dominant in the post than Dirk. So I think post game is clear and concise, even though Dirk could just shoot over niggas all day, honestly. That leads to scoring. You got one better shooter, one better post player. So, you see the repertoire from Duncan. So overall scoring I will ask who's more imposing at what they do. Is Dirk shooting more of a liability for the D than Duncan's post presence? I would say no. So score, I will have to put Duncan. More unstoppable scorer as far as you got a double Duncan down low in the post. Dirk is the shit, but if his shot is not falling, because you can't stop him from shooting, he's 7'1", and he shoots it a high arc. If he's not hitting his shot, and Duncan's not hitting his shot, Duncan's going to be more of the factor, more domineering. So I would say Duncan, just because down low, he's a threat for Shaq, he's a threat for anybody. So I would just say overall scoring being Duncan by a hair, even though preferentially I like watching Dirk shit more. But I got Duncan. Defense. Now, it's Tim Duncan for the help D, for the on-ball D, for the overall D, for the left-hand block, right-hand block. Tim Duncan's defense, probably the best defender of all time in my opinion. Top 5 overall defenders. Just knows where to be, the know-how of the game, the wherewithal. I thought he was overrated when I was a kid. I grew up. I learned the game. I learned the nuances. And he's always where he needs to be offensively and defensively. So I got Duncan on D. But I will say this. Dirk's D, I think because the stigma, honestly, of a white male, slow male, he's unathletic, is always going to get the attachment of being a non-defender. Like a nigga like Korver won't get credit when I think Korver's an okay defender. But Dirk, the same aspect. Lengthy, so he contests shots. He's not just getting torched 24/7. And he has pride to play D. He's just not the athlete, and he's not an elitist of a defender. But I do think he stands his ground. You know what I'm saying? So defense, Dirk. Passing, defense, Duncan, sorry. Passing, I would say Duncan too, because he's more inclined to pass, and he's always double. They always bring in a double towards Duncan, if niggas notice, and he's always a willing passer out the double. So I would say Duncan, even though Dirk's passing is not bad off the post, I think you will have more success doubling Dirk and having him make the pass than Duncan, though. So pass, I got Duncan. Handles we could skip because too big. Even though if we did do it, it would be Dirk because he could push the ball up tempo in his younger days. When they was old, they both wasn't doing much. But Dirk younger days, he could push it up in transition. So handles him. Clutch. Whew. 2 of the top 10 clutchest players in my era. I would have to say Duncan just because the sustainability from beginning to the end, rookie season, all the way to 2017 or whatever when he almost took Miami out. He was poised and he had clutch moments all throughout that. Clutch in the Miami series, clutch against the Lakers, clutch against Shaq, clutch against the Pistons in the finals, clutch against the Phoenix Suns. He has numerous clutch moments, and he's always their go-to guy when it matters. Whereas Dirk didn't get to show all of his clutch moments as much as Duncan. Duncan was always there. So I saw Duncan in critical moments seemingly my whole life. I used to hate that nigga as a young Lakers fan. But I would say Duncan for that reason. But Dirk, his 2011 season against the Thunder, against the Lakers, against the Heat, against the Blazers, that was some of the clutchest shit I ever seen in my life. So I think Dirk is one of the clutchest players ever as well, and I think he had a knock early on for being soft and not ready for the moment. When he had a couple clutch moments against Duncan and them in the playoffs as well. But for me, I just got, this is a clutch moment. This is all Dirk right here. I just got Duncan for that. And athleticism. Non-athletes. Both these niggas probably run a 6 flat, jump over 3/4 at best. I would say Duncan, Duncan because of the strength. A little stronger than Dirk from my observation. But none of these people are leveraging one another because of athleticism. Isolation. Both of these players are isolation players. Give it to them down low on the block and let them operate. I just got Duncan being more of the imposing factor down low. Duncan is legit. Duncan may not be easy on the eyes, but this motherfucker was legit and that nigga could hoop. It's as simple as that. So, we got a lot of categories. I named them all pretty much. Overall skill, I would take Duncan just because he's nuanced in the post more than most players, more than Dirk. And Dirk has his signature fadeaway, and he has an excellent jump shot, but he doesn't have a wider range when it comes to Duncan, as far as the face-up, as far as the post play, as far as the bank shot, as far as the left-hand hooks. You know what I'm saying? Dirk doesn't have as much. But he's skilled nonetheless, and he's a great player. Preferentially, I love Dirk. That's my nigga. That's the white mamba. But if I had to say overall, if I had to pick one overall, it will have to be Tim Duncan. And I'm struggling to find a power forward that I would pick over Tim Duncan. This is the second nigga I would have picked. So I don't have him. So you tell me who's better than Tim Duncan at the PF. I got Tim Duncan being the best power forward in history, with Dirk Nowitzki being second. Yes, I said Dirk being second. I like KG, but I didn't see big moments from KG. And I prefer the outside game of Dirk more than KG. So, with this, I got Tim Duncan, best power forward to me of all time. Let me know your thoughts. Who's better than Duncan? Is Dirk better than Duncan? Why? I got Duncan being the GOAT at the PF though, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as you know about me, ain't no wrong or right. It's just what you see, nigga. I'm telling you what I see. It's your boy Dane. Keep the eye test alive. It ain't always about metrics, baby. Learn to watch the game without numbers. It's possible. Peace.